guess, Stan, it's just a huge moment for the club. Like, it's the first final since 2014. There must be a real excitement within the group about the game ahead.
Yeah, look, obviously we're excited from the perspective of the club not having made it for a long time, and I guess the opportunity for the fans to come out and watch us in a home final and expecting a big crowd. So look, just from that perspective, it's going to be a massive occasion tomorrow night. We can't wait.
I guess, how are you? You've had good success against Macarthur during the regular season. Does that count for anything going into this one?
As we know, probably not. And as I've mentioned this week a couple of times, we played them in a friendly at the beginning of the year as well, and they beat us in that. And so we've actually played them 4 times already this year, and they've all been encounters that could have went either way, to be honest. So, ultimately that's just a bit of history, and obviously you get a little bit of belief from that, but it's a finals game, and we know it's a one-off, and there's no draws. There's going to be a winner or a loser, and we just know it's going to be a tough game. And I've said it countless times this week already, the top 6 this year is so close for me, and anyone can win any game, so this game included.
What about the squad, mate? Is everyone fit and firing and ready to go?
Yeah, at the moment everyone is, so we've still got one more session coming up shortly, so after that we'll do a final assessment, but at the moment we're all okay.
In terms of, a lot of teams sort of struggled through that sort of May-June period in terms of the schedule, and it's really hard on squads and stuff, but it's kind of eased off a little bit, sort of those sort of 3-game weeks and stuff have kind of eased off a bit in the last couple of weeks. Has that helped? Has that sort of freshened up a few bodies?
Yes and no. Everyone had their difficulties this year, no doubt. Probably Wellington the hardest, living away from home the most often, and Perth as well. And you look at Western United's schedule was pretty tough, and even Brisbane had a tough schedule there in the back end of the year, and we had a tough schedule at the beginning of the year. Probably the biggest difficulty from us that others don't have is the depth in the squad. We just don't have the quantity of numbers that other squads do. So we did extremely well to get through that period with a skinnier squad in terms of quantity. Yeah, from that perspective, we did really well. We built up a good physical resilience within the group, and obviously, everyone can see the mental resilience within the group as well. But, we did get through that period, and everyone had their lulls during the year as well, and we had a little bit of a lull there where we weren't picking up as many wins as what we were earlier, but we've come through that out the other end and feeling really confident.
Stan, a couple of quick questions for you. What are the 1%ers? What are the things that you feel like you need to do really, really well tomorrow night?
Yeah, I don't know if they're 1%ers. I think we need to do the 100% as well. We need to do everything well. We're playing against an extremely experienced team. I don't even know how many ex-Socceroos, but it's 5 or 6 ex-Socceroos in the team, and obviously Sushieta and Derbyshire and Banat possibly coming back into the team as well. So, we're coming up against a team that's probably got more experience than us, but one that we know we can beat if we play well. So, I don't think there's any one thing that we need to do well. We have to do everything well. We can't drop our guard in any respect. With the ball, without the ball, in transition moments, set pieces, we have to be on the ball for everything, and knowing that any one moment can be the deciding factor in the game.
You just said about Benyat. Are you expecting any surprises in terms of formation or selections?
Again, we don't know what to expect. We're prepared for anything, and we're prepared for everything. Like we have been every game this year, and to be honest, from that perspective, we haven't really treated this game any different to any other. We've prepared as thoroughly as we have done for every game. So, we spend a lot of hours preparing for each match, and we've done the same for this game. It's not as if we've done more work, because, we've done the attention to detail in every other game as well, and then it's just a matter of execution on match day. And, again, we've got a lot of confidence going into the game, and if we execute, like we have been in the last couple of months, I think we're a really good chance.
Alen, it's sort of, I don't know if we're dealing with hypotheticals here, but obviously the 3 teams that had qualified for the Asian Champions League have withdrawn. There are those sort of Asian spots on the line. Is there any concern from you guys or from yourself in terms of the impact that might have if you guys sort of go on and qualify for next season's Champions League, that you might sort of find yourself under some sort of sanction because of that decision?
Yeah, it's a tough one to say actually. So we haven't seen the outcome from the AFC, which is obviously the starting point. Then the other thing we don't know is obviously the equation of whether we will lose any spots, from the formula that they set down for the rankings. So, there's a lot of things at play at the moment where we're third in the pecking order. To qualify, there's obviously the first two that are automatic qualifiers in Melbourne City and Sydney for next year, and potentially the winner of the FFA Cup. So, we're not far off qualifying if any one of us win the FFA Cup, Sydney, Melbourne City or us. So there's lots of things that can go in our favour to qualify for the Champions League, which would be a massive feather in the cap for the club.
And just on sort of obviously playing a home final and getting that crowd in and gossip and stuff, are you expecting the fans to get right behind you tomorrow night, and how important will that be? That's the whole point of, I guess, finishing in that top four. Yeah,
ticket sales have been very good. So I'm hoping that continues today and tomorrow, and we get a massive walk up as well, and hopefully all the fans come up from Macarthur to support their team as well. So, you just want it to be a good occasion for football. It's been a really tough year, and probably the tough 18 months now when we go back to the COVID era and the immediate post-COVID era. So it'll be great just to get a crowd of hopefully 12 to 15,000 and really pack the joint and feel alive again at a football match.
And I guess just tactically, we've seen Macarthur, they play a really possession-heavy style of football. They like to kick the ball and keep possession. Do you look to either sort of break that up and get the ball back yourselves, or do you look to strike on the counters? How do you sort of counter the way that they play?
Yeah, look, they've got a distinct style, and that's a real positive for them and their coaching staff, the way that they've implemented their plans. And, as a neutral, I enjoy watching them play. They've got a good distinct style and a philosophy, and it's always nice to watch coaches with such a strong philosophy and impart their ways of playing onto the team. As we've shown during the year, we've tried to nullify them in different ways, but you just don't know how tomorrow's going to pan out. You don't know. There's been periods in the game against them, for example, a couple of weeks ago where we had 60 or 70% possession for half an hour of the game. So, you can't just say you can rely on one string in your bow and say that that's the only way you're going to win. So, we've prepared as thoroughly as we can with all the different weapons that we've got in our disposal, and hopefully we can exploit them on the night with one of those.
And I guess just finally from me, we saw you've obviously had to make do without Ruan, who's been a huge part of your defensive line. I think it was Kai Rolls who came in. Was that? Am I correct in saying that against Western?
Kai Rolls came out. Yeah, he did. He came off. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, are you confident that you guys have sort of been able to fill that gap with Ruan gone?
Yeah, Dan Hall came in and he's had a couple of good games. He's probably had 4 or 5 A-League appearances now. So he's done really well filling that void, and this will be another big step up for him playing a finals match. But Kai's had such a solid year for us. I think he's been one of the top 3 or 4 centre-backs in the competition. So just having Kai alongside him obviously helps. We're missing Ruan, and Macarthur are missing Dennis Jean Roux. So, it's not as if we have any advantage that they don't have, or vice versa. So, each team's missing one key player that's gone off with the Socceroos. So, we have to make do without Ruan, and they've got to make do without Jean Roux, who's been a very influential player for them.
Thanks, Alen.
And Staj, I know it's got nothing to do with your game, but it's overnight news, isn't it, about Ange and Celtic? Can we get your thoughts on that? I mean, that's massive to have an Aussie manager at one of the big clubs in the world.
Yeah, massive coup for our game. I'm just really, really happy to have worked alongside him in the national teams, and for me, he's probably the most inspirational coach I've come across in Australian football. So to see him leading the way in Europe, and I know we've had other coaches in Europe, at different levels, but for him to go to a pretty big club with such a rich history and paving the way hopefully for other Australians down the track is just a massive coup. And I wish him all the best, obviously, and deep down you know, I truly believe he's going to be successful. He's just got that aura and personality and drive, and the greater the challenge, you know, the more he wants to stick it to people. So, you know, I'm sure that they're going to have a very successful campaign under him, and again, like I said, be a real role model and inspiration for other Australian coaches to come.